You can store information in that conscious part of your mind. And in fact, most of our minds are like a huge library of information in our conscious mind. And we know a lot of things. The doing part of our goal and of anything in our life doesn't come from that conscious knowing. Hello and welcome back to the DiLive Podcast. Today I want to talk about the knowing-doing gap. You may have heard of it, and last time we were talking about setting goals, and it's the new year. We're off to a great start. We've got a vision. We've selected some goals that we want to bring into our physical experience this year. Brilliant. Do you feel inspired? Are you raring to go? Now, many people that I work with are constantly looking for more information on how to do what they say they want to do. Now, in some instances, that's warranted. If you've got a skill that you need to learn in order to perform, that's warranted. However, in this personal and professional development space, I find a lot of people who are just after more information. They keep thinking that if they just had a bit more knowledge, they would then move into doing what it is that they want to do. So I'm going to blast that out of the water by telling you it isn't that we need to know more. We don't do what we know. That's what's holding us back. We know lots. And in fact, you've got much more in you than you might realize right now in order to do and be and create what it is that you've said that you want, that you desire. It's not the knowing that moves us into the doing. It's the being. Now, let me explain that. Our mind has many parts. And the one part that you've started to form the picture in or form the image in, and you've got that vision in your mind, that's in your conscious mind. Okay, you can see it there on the screen of your mind. You can think about it. You can take in information about it. You can store information in that conscious part of your mind. And in fact, most of our minds are like a huge library of information in our conscious mind, and we know a lot of things. The doing part of our goal and of anything in our life doesn't come from that conscious knowing. And that really surprised me when I first learned it, because I was intellectual. I loved learning, and I had so much learning there, and I thought, I know so much. Why am I not moving into doing what it is I say I want to do? Why is that so hard when I have all of this information? And the truth of the matter is, our actions don't come from our conscious mind. Our actions come from who we think we are. They come from the assumptions that we're making about ourselves. And so you may have heard an earlier podcast episode where I was talking about self-image and negative talk. As much as I was intellectual and I had learnt so much and I had a great library of knowledge, my deeper part of my mind, my subconscious mind, was not synced with what I knew. What it had going on was what I believed about myself, which was that I was not enough, that I was full of shame and blame and all of those things. And so there was quite a disparity between what I knew in my conscious mind and what I felt in my subconscious mind. And that's a good way to remember the two. The conscious mind, and I sort of say, the top half, if you like, of the conscious mind, I can choose what I think and I can store lots of knowledge. That would be the intellectual part of my mind. The subconscious mind is my emotional mind. That is the feeling part, if you like, the heart part of my mind. And that is the part of my mind that is going to dictate what I move into action on. I like to call it the seat of action. That's where my action will come from. When I am so emotionally involved in my vision, that's involving my subconscious mind, I will not be able to stand still. I love the quote from James Allen. He says, "You cannot move forward within and stand still without." And what he means is you cannot be so emotionally involved in a vision inside you, emotionally involved in a vision, and stand still in your physical self. When you are so emotionally involved in this goal that you have set, you will not be able to help but take action on that. But I want you to understand how important it is to embed this vision of your desire. Now, do you remember we talked about desire versus wants? When I'm talking about what I want, my consciousness around that is that I don't have it. If I say I want a new car, I'm admitting I don't have a new car. That's why I want it. But when I'm talking about desire is the fullness of the very thing that lights me up. That's what the desire is. And if I will, like I said in that last episode, get a picture of that desire and take time to connect with that emotionally in the way that it's done. This is what it feels like, having and being and creating this. Then I am emotionally involved with it. I am there. I know how it feels to have it, and I'm using my imagination to get me there. So when I do that, and if I will do that, if you will do that, you will get so connected to that vision that you will be moved into action. It's no longer just living as an image in your conscious mind that you're looking at. It's actually something that you are embodying. You feel that you are already that. And that sets into motion that whole law of attraction. You are moving towards it energetically, and you are also attracting components of it to you to enable it to come into form. And that's what I meant when I said the setting of a goal is an intellectual exercise, involves your intellectual mind. The getting of a goal is a lawful process. It involves the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of how you feel and what happens in regards to that. So, my actions do not come from what I want. My actions come from who I am. And that is a deeper knowing, a belief. And so some of the areas to look at when you are feeling like, you're aware, I'm not doing what I want to be doing. And perhaps you're doing things that you'd rather not be doing. And so there's this whole mishmash of not lining up. So take a look at what you believe to be true. Now, a belief is just a thought that you've repeated over and over and over, and you've accepted it because you've thought it over and over and over, like my belief that I was not worthy, that I was not good enough. I had thought that for so many years. I had accepted that as truth. So I can change my beliefs by accepting a new idea. Just accept the new idea and ponder it. You will change your belief. So belief is very important in allowing you to move into action. The other elements, I guess, to look at is what is your assumption, the position that you're assuming in your daily walk. Like, what is going on inside your mind? Who do you think you are? What position are you assuming? If you were an actor in a play and I gave you a script and said, right, you are the postman. This is your job. This is your prop, and you're to go around acting like that. In order to do that, you would have to assume that position. You couldn't say, no, look, I'm the leading lady. I'm over there in a ball gown. No, you're the postman. You've got to assume that position in every way. And it would begin with thinking like a postman would think, right? So when you've set your goal and you're wanting to move into action, you've got to start thinking as if you are already there and assume that position, just like an actor would, in order to promote yourself to move forward. That emotional integration is the key, embodying the fullness of your goal achieved. And that happens in our subconscious mind, and it involves repetition. Because the truth is, if you were already emotionally integrated with the fullness of your desire, you would already be living it in your physical reality experience now. So we know we're not because we haven't yet experienced it. However, there's not a huge gap between where you are now and where you want to be. It is this continuum of just continually reaching forward with your feeling tone, reaching for, moving forward into the more of your desire, and then just trusting the process, knowing that everything you need is coming in precisely the right time, and being aware that that is the case. So when I say there's a knowing-doing gap, the gap is in us connecting with the being of what it is that we desire. And so enjoy the process that this involves. And please, if you do want to talk more about where you're at and where you're wanting to go, please connect with me using the link below. And I look forward to talking with you on our next episode.